If you're losing many matches in Clash Squad rank matches, and if it's very hard for you guys to push your rank in Clash Squad rank matches, it could be because you might be doing a lot of mistakes. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys 5 big mistakes that players do when playing Clash Squad rank matches, and I will also tell you guys how to fix those mistakes. So without wasting any more time, first let's start with mistake number 1. Now guys, this first mistake, I have seen a lot of players do this mistake, not just the beginners but all players also do this mistake. And the mistake that players do is that after knocking down an enemy, they forget to fully finish the enemy. Now the reason that it's very important to fully finish the enemy after knocking him down is because, for example, let's say that you knock down 3 enemies of the enemy side and there's 1 enemy remaining, and that 1 enemy which is remaining on the other side knocks down 3 enemies of your side, but he manages to fully finish those enemies. Now, if you didn't fully finish those enemies, if you just knocked down those enemies, the remaining enemy could go and revive those other enemies that you knocked down. So it could go from a 1 versus 1 situation to a 1 versus 4 situation. So in such a situation, it could be very hard for you guys to win that round, because if it goes from a 1 versus 1 situation to a 1 versus 4 situation, you might have a hard time taking down those enemies. So once you knock down an enemy, try to quickly finish that enemy. But there are some times where it can be hard to quickly finish that enemy after knocking down. For example, let's say that there are multiple enemies that are rushing you in short range. So in such a situation, it's better to quickly knock down one enemy and then go for the other person. But if the enemies are a little bit far away from you, it's a better idea to quickly knock down the enemy and finish him off so that the other teammates can't revive that person. So guys, now let's move on to mistake number 2. Now mistake number 2 is not staying updated on the new updates that come into the game. For example, when a new update comes into the game, there are a lot of things that change. For example, some characters change, some characters get nerfs, and some characters get buffs. And another thing that they change are weapons. Some weapons get nerfs and some weapons get buffs. And some of the weapons that changed are the M1887. The M1887 got a nerf this time as well. I don't know why they keep nerfing this gun, but a gun that received a buff is the P90 gun. If you guys are not using the P90 gun after the update, I highly recommend that you guys use the P90 gun because it received a buff after the update. So as I said earlier, there are some characters and guns that receive nerfs and some characters and guns that receive buffs. So if you are using guns and characters that were nerfed after the update, it can be a disadvantage to you. So try to stay updated when an update comes, because as I said earlier, there's gonna be a lot of things that change. For example, the guns, the weapons, and also sometimes they also change the loadouts as well. As you guys know, loadouts can also be very useful in Clash Squad and Battle Royale matches. As I remember, they also did some small changes to the loadouts as well. So when an update comes, try to see what are the things that they changed and try to use the things that were buffed. So guys, now let's move on to mistake number 3. Now mistake number 3 is a mistake that players do when rushing. Now if you guys do this mistake, it might be the reason that you guys get knocked down very quickly when you try to rush the enemy. And the mistake that players do is that they rush the enemy without a vest or a glue wall. Now guys, in a Clash Squad match, a vest is a very important thing, not just in Clash Squad matches, in Battle Royale matches as well. A vest is a very important thing. So when you're going to rush an enemy, remember to either have a vest or at least have a glue wall. The reason that I tell you guys that a vest is very important is because, let's take this example. If I attack an enemy without a vest with a Desert Eagle gun, you guys can see here the damage is 90. But if the enemy is wearing a level 2 vest, the damage is 45. It's just half of the damage. So as you guys can see here, a vest can reduce a lot of damage. Now if I attack that enemy with a level 3 vest, the damage is just 30. So from this example, I think you guys can understand how important a vest can be. So as I said earlier, when rushing, a vest can be very important. If you guys don't have enough coins to buy a vest, at least try to go with the glue wall. And when you're rushing, try to also go from cover to cover instead of staying in open places. So now before I move on to mistake number 4, I want to talk more about the giveaway, because a lot of you guys have been asking for a giveaway. Yes, there's a giveaway in this video, and the item that I'm gonna be giving away in this video is the new Candy Bunny MP5 gun skin. So as you guys can see here, this is the new MP5 gun skin, which is the Candy Bunny gun skin. Here are the attributes of this gun skin, which are rate of fire plus, reload speed plus and accuracy minus. Now the rate of fire plus is a very good thing for this gun because the MP5 already has good rate of fire, and adding another rate of fire could be very useful for this gun. And another thing is the reload speed plus. Now as you guys know, when we are using short range guns, for example for SMG guns, reload speed is very important because we are attacking the enemy in short range, so reload speed can be very important. So as you guys can see here, this gun skin already has reload speed plus, which is a good thing for this gun. And now moving on to the accuracy minus of this gun skin. Now the accuracy minus of this gun skin, I don't think it will be a big problem because as you guys know, the MP5 already has a good level of accuracy, and you guys can also upgrade this gun with upgrade chips. So I don't really think that the accuracy minus will be a big problem for this gun. So overall, looking at the attributes of this gun skin, I think it's a very decent gun skin, and this gun skin also has some really nice animations, and it also has a really nice look as well. So I'm gonna be giving away this new Candy Bunny MP5 gun skin to 10 lucky winners. So if you guys wanna enter the giveaway, make sure to comment down your in-game UID and also comment down your thoughts on this gun skin, and I'll personally select 10 lucky winners from the comment section of this video. So guys, now let's move on to mistake number 4. Now if you guys do this mistake, you might get very hard enemies in your match. As you guys know, when we get very hard enemies in the match, it can be very hard to win that match. And now the reason that you guys might get very hard enemies on the other side is if you play with teammates that have a higher rank than you. So if you play with your friends that have a higher rank than you, when you go into the match, you might also get enemies that have a higher rank. So if you guys want enemies that have a similar rank to you, try to play with friends that have a similar rank to you, or try to play with friends that have a lower rank than yours. So when you do that, you will get enemies that have either a similar rank to yours or enemies that are in a lower rank to yours. Now guys, if you guys still wanna play with your friends that are in a higher rank, I would recommend that you guys first play with random players, because as you guys know, when we play with random players, we usually get enemies that are in our own rank, right? So because of that, it can be a lot easier to win those matches. And once you get onto the rank that your friends are in, you guys can play together as a team. Now let's move on to mistake number 5. Now the first mistake that players do is done when they are timing grenades. Now if you do this mistake, two things that can happen if you do this mistake is number 1, the enemy will run away from that place, and number 2, the enemy will quickly knock you down. Now the mistake that players do is that when timing the grenade, they come out of the cover. So if you come out of the cover when timing the grenade, as I said earlier, two things that can happen is number 1, if the enemy sees that you're timing the grenade, he might run away, or number 2, he might knock you down. So remember, when you're timing a grenade, try to stay inside the cover, time the grenade, and then throw it onto the enemy. Now if you guys watch until this part, I want to give you guys a bonus mistake that players do. And now this mistake that players do is done in the Pochino round. As you guys know, after the update, there were some new boxes that were added into the Pochino round, and now the mistake that players do is that they take cover in the middle of this box. Now the problem with taking cover in the middle of this box is that if an enemy is on the other side, he can easily take you down if you stay in the middle of this box. And the reason for this is because there's a small opening in this box. As you guys can see here, there's a small opening in this box, and if there's an enemy on the other side, he can easily attack you through this opening. So if you are planning on taking cover behind this box, try to stay a little bit away from that opening. Now guys, if you guys want tips and tricks on the Santino character, make sure that you guys check out this video, and I'll see you guys later on with another video. And until then, take it easy fam, peace.